Hello all, how you guys doing tonight? Today I propose a question. Have you ever fought with a sibling where either one of you believed that there was a chance you could be wrong? Right, totally butting heads, not seeing each other's sides. Well, that basically sums up America in the year 2020 and all of American citizens. Conservatives and liberals alike have been clashing heads in a continuous dispute over many topics, some of which should have never been politically involved to begin with. This has given society an endless amount of challenges. Imagine living with a sibling you never get along with. If there is no compromise in the house will never get along. Now, this divide between the American people has been brewing for a while. However, it has been noticed by many that the pandemic was a huge turning point. Now, there's an article written by French in which he states that commentators have called our dysfunctional politics a form of a cold civil war. And the assumption is that one side or the other will eventually win, dominate the opposition, and rule a united country, right? Well, it's evident that each side of the political parties, the conservatives and the liberals, do not have much love for each other. Just like those hating siblings, and they glare at each other from across the room. The problem is that because these two parties cannot see eye to eye, all issues that need to be fixed for the average American to continue to be pushed aside and unaccomplished. This has a direct effect on the American people, just like you and I. Now, one of the main problems that has driven from this divide is that people are becoming more closed-minded and not listening to what other people's opinions are on certain controversial topics. One of these topics that have clearly and deeply affected the people of America was COVID-19 in the year of 2020. Many people can agree that since the pandemic, this country is more divided now than it was before the outbreak. The reason for this is because the Democrats and Republicans differ over mask wearing, they disagree on contact tracing, how well the public health officials are dealing with the crisis, whether to get the vaccine once one is available, and whether life will remain changed in a major way after the pandemic. Hey, somebody get that baby out of here. Oh, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Now let's get back to the topic, huh? Okay. Now, the pandemic is a prime example of an issue that happened in the year 2020 that could have been politically avoided. There isn't a true cut and dry solution to this problem. However, there are some changes that can be made in order for Americans to get along better and become more civilized as a country. One of these solutions is being open-minded and listening to others' opinions, and allowing them to be heard. Something as simple as that. Even if someone doesn't necessarily agree with it. I'm not saying that you need to support every idea out there, but just listening to it and letting it, work its way through your mind may be beneficial. Now, I know when we all fight with our siblings, we're stubborn and don't even want to sit down and listen to them because we know we're the ones who are right and we will win the argument. Those of us who have siblings know exactly what I'm talking about. You don't even want to be in the same room as them, and you would rather throw your shoe at them from across the room. Excuse me, sir. Laugh when it's appropriate. Now back to what I was saying. By changing this mentality and sitting down with your sibling, being open-minded, and coming to a compromise, the argument can be pushed to the past, and both of you can get along again. Think of this as it relates to Americans and the divide that the year 2020 has created. Now, if the American people can't change and find a way to get along, there are going to be more severe consequences for the future. So if you care about going to college, starting a career, I think it's time to make some changes and get along with the rest of society. Even if it is something you do not agree with, all it takes is baby steps, people. At the end of the day, every American, regardless of race, ethnicity, sex, religion, or sexual orientation, can and should have a home in this land. That was a quote from Denmark. We are all siblings in this country, so let's start acting like it. This is Dusten Crosswhite. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Shit.